So, we'll figure this out, all four of us. Dahlia, what do you think happened last time? Because it was yesterday, as we all know.
Right.
Definitely not weeks ago.
And I'll tell you that Dahlia, in her old age is, the memory isn't what it used to be. So I am going to go ahead and say that we, I think we woke up to, was this the day, I might still be traumatized, but did we wake up to the house being on fire? I think we didn't we?
Yeah.
Did we? Yes. The house is on fire. Yes. And so basically we woke up to that, and I think it was Julian that did his whole extending his senses and things like that. And he suffered a mental break, or emotional break, or a physical break.
Yeah.
There was a lot of breaking.
I think he got 4 aggravated from True Faith.
Yes, it was very painful to him, and the rest of us did not experience it to that degree of severity. And what he discovered in peering into the mists is that Dusktown 2 has carolers who were just spreading holiday cheer in a way that was painful to kindred. And so they were expressing their just usual Merry Christmas, holy songs bullshit. And it was not good. And the house was on fire, and Julian was in pain, and and Henry, I think, had issues. Maybe he was hearing them too, or something like that. The point is that suffering was going around. And so Ella and Dahlia decided that Ella should do something. and so Ella did, Ella did her thing. And this was Ella has some cool moments. Like she, wait, did I miss something?
I can do the quick thing, and then you can fill me in. So I just
Dowser did something too. I think he was like reinforcing the house or something. I don't know. No, I remember. It was the mist. He created the mist. Yeah, the waterfall or the mist or whatever. There was he made it rain on Christmas. Yeah. So
I also got professionally deafened.
You woke up
professionally. Yeah.
House was on fire.
Yeah.
Also evolved into blast doors and started putting out the fire.
Right, exactly. And then Ella, in like a very vent-true moment, she walks out, right? Sun and everything, because it's the middle of the day. That's the other thing the audience has to understand. This is like high noon. And so Ella just strides out the front door. Like it's not even anything. And then just like smoke coming off and everything like this. And she's like, disperse. Go away. You are not wanted here.
Julian listened to the carolers, hit by True Faith. Fortunately, none of you have good ears.
Yeah.
Henry was possessed by a demon. The gate in the basement opened into the abyss. Henry and Dahlia stepped into the gate, and apparently ended up in Copenhagen with Nemesis.
Wait. I want to stop you, because there's like a whole thing there, right? So like the house was going into emergency mode, right? And like a gate opened in the cellar, because it was apparently set up by us in a bygone age, as like an escape route. I get it. Portcullis and everything, So basically
Henry cried a tear?
Yes, Henry cried a tear, and Dahlia collected it.
With sound effects.
Exactly. And then Dahlia leading the way, because Henry's like, Henry is understanding the hierarchy now. And Henry just basically defers to Dahlia's good judgment. And so basically Dahlia leads them through the black gate into Mordor. I mean, sorry, wrong show. And basically, they go into the abyss and end up, as you said, in Copenhagen, facing none other than, here's a cameo that comes across every series that Sanguine Wizard does. We have Nemesis. That's right, folks. She's back. And so she's standing, she's like, what the hell are you doing in Copenhagen? And Dahlia's like, it's nice to meet you too. And I'm the master of the abyssal arts. And so, respect my power. And Nemesis is like, I don't really respect anyone, but especially not you. and she's like, come on. And so basically between Henry's negotiating diplomatic expertise and Dahlia's force of will and Nemesis's curiosity about abyssal transversal methods, Dahlia works out a deal with Nemesis to never have a child again. And this is a woman who would probably eat her own children, so it's really not a big sacrifice. And so she gets a drop of Nemesis's Vitae too, and they all make this deal, sign it in blood, whatever, and then head back through, and the world is saved.
Because of the time difference, you never went to bed.
Yeah.
And I think the rest of you went to sleep after Dowser he put up the fire. When you woke, your hall or entryway was filled with policemen, because the door had been broken down. Thankfully, the Guardian put them to sleep. Tried to figure out what to do with those. Another officer came through. I think someone mesmerized him to not do anything. He was put to sleep as well. You learned what a body cam is. Panicked a bit. You went through plan to F, I think, and A to F. And that is when Officer Vasquez walked through and said, I think you need to come with me. And
yeah.
I think that's where we ended.
I just want to say it was a real triumph, personal triumph on a personal level, to say that Dahlia figured out the whole camera thing. This is a woman who possesses no real technological knowledge or understanding past the 18th century. So, she's just like, hey,
steam engine, what a marvel.
That's right. Look at this little optical steam engine here. So yeah.
I was deaf for the latter half of the session.
To avoid the true faith, you were deafened by I think several people's input and medical skills to deafen you.
I got stabbed at some point.
Yeah. Dahlia also demonstrated her medical skills that episode. I think it involved like driving a knife into Towser's ear or something.
You have 11 policemen in cages, and Officer Vasquez is there. She's calm. She looks at everyone like she's not aggressive in any way. And she just says, is there anything you need to take care of before I arrest you? We're going to clean up this mess. But you need to go see the old lady.
Do you have to put me in handcuffs?
I do. Don't worry, we'll make all this go away.
See, I want to trust you. Ella, can we trust her?
Yes, you can.
Okay. See, I trust Ella, who says I can trust you. So be gentle.
She pulls out 5 pairs of handcuffs. We'll just pretend the other 2 are here. It's all getting arrested together. You come outside. There is a huge.
I am deaf, so I can't speak properly. Ask someone tell her not to fucking go in the basement.
Well, Guardian's still there. Do you want to rouse the
I was about to say,
ears?
Guardian should take care of that. That's his job.
Do you want
I'll prefer to be deaf for this.
You're let outside. There's a quarantine area is not the right word. They have barricaded the street, so the press cannot, come in, see what you're doing. Police officers are around. Many of them look at Dahlia, because apparently she is wanted under a different name. Lila Grayson. You put in the car, driven by Officer Vasquez. There is no officer sitting next to her. She seems to be taking care of you guys herself. One of you even gets to sit next to her. And you drive through town to Outer Bridgeport and Dusktown Police Department. You drive around and enter through the back. And you are led to a looks like a conference room. It's not a jail cell. You are taken away from the normal officers. No one else is there but you and Officer Vasquez. She gestures towards the chairs around the large table and says, "Please take a seat. Our chief will be with you in a moment." A few minutes pass, and a man, late 40s, early 50s maybe, big mustache, in his, police chief uniform. He has all the right stripes and badges and everything you want. And no body cam, thankfully. He enters. "Evening all. I am very happy that you came here on your own volition. I will have to talk to each and every one of you to get your perspective on the whole situation. And then I'll sort this thing out and you can be on your way."
Dahlia's going to lean over to Ella and go, "Do we have a lawyer?"
We don't need one, but if we do, one will be provided for us.
I assure you, you are not being prosecuted. That will not be good for the Masquerade. And any judgment will be provided by Kaya and your own kind. We're just here to clean up the mess.
I like the way that they do things here. Like, they're so polite and well informed. It's not like normal police departments at all.
Trust me, ma'am, I know my betters. I'm just a servant.
And well behaved and trained too.
I'm sure Kaya will be pleased to hear that. Who wants to begin? He gestures towards the door.
You mean leave?
Oh, for questioning.
Oh, okay.
I'd be happy to go first.
Miss Quinn? He takes you to, an interrogation room. There's the usual table, mirror. He unlocks your handcuffs and says, "I'm sorry, it's just for show. I'm sure you can just tear them apart if you want to. I just need to get your perspective on the situation. All we know is strange people showed up. Your house was on fire. Police went in to investigate. They didn't come out. And Officer Vasquez found them all alive in your basement. Is that correct?"
I am unaware of this, what happened. I know that there were some deviants that were outside and then they ran into the house. And I believe the police came in. And while they were in there, there might have been a tussle. I don't know. Were they able to get the other individuals out as well? The ones that burned the property down?
They had unfortunately left before we arrived.
I think that they left those poor law enforcement agents in our house, unfortunately.
Ella, can you do either a composure persuasion or composure subterfuge, depending on if you think you're lying or not?
Yeah. I mean, let's look at what we got.
You get your plus for being, well, attractive. And if you want to really ramp it up, you can also activate your all, but that's up to you.
I was about to say presence.
You said composure and subterfuge or persuasion?
Yes, depending on if you think you're lying or not.
I'm persuading them. And how many dice do I get to add for my looks?
2 for that. If you want to awe, you get 5 extra on top. So 7 in total.
4, 5, 6, 7. Plus 7 on top?
7 in total if you add your awe.
I have 3 in persuasion, 4 in composure. That's 4. That's 7. Plus my looks would give me 2. That puts me up to 9.
Plus your awe, which is 5.
So if I were to take half of that...
I just want to see if you're, do you have any hunger? Or are you at 0?
Well, I haven't diablerized anyone yet. I haven't seen that Ravnos again. I'm at 1 hunger.
If you take half and it's 7, yeah, that should be fine.
Okay.
That's a lot.
She didn't even have to roll.
You brighten up the room. His eyes, they glow like he's looking at a god. Kind of bends his head. It's kind of difficult for him to look at you, and also kind of difficult to look away. Is there anything else you can add, Miss, for my report? This is of course unofficial, but just for the sake of Kaya. Wouldn't be doing my job very well if I didn't inform her correctly.
I think that my peers were damaged in the process, and I don't know to what capacity they can deliver a great account. There may be medical needs for at least one of them. I don't know how long we need to be kept here, but allowing us to,
It's only going to take a moment. Is there anything you can tell me about the people who started the fire? Anything at all we can look for? Oh, you're muted.
Yes. They were led by this man who has a penchant for smoking and drinking and going to clubs. That's what I know for sure. And they also have a thing for church. Some religious zealots is what I got.
We will discreetly ask the, religious people. Thank you so much. I'll escort you back and have a conversation with the rest of your group.
You want to put the cuffs back on, or am I free to go? Or...
You are free. I will ask that you wait, and I will escort you out the back, have a car drive you wherever you want.
Understood. And then before she goes, are they the only ones there?
Other people in the rest of the station, obviously, but it seems to be their whole area right here where you are seems to have been cleared out, so no witnesses are here.
Can she use Wingman on one of them?
Unfortunately, you would have to touch them and hold on for the Wingman to work. If you can, sorry.
How long, do I hold their hand? I mean, because I can work that in. How long do I have to hold them to be their wingman?
I've remembered that you have to continuously touch them, but I'm not sure. Let's look it up just to be sure. I can't see them. I'm not going to bother looking into them. I'm just going to say you have to touch them once before they go in. You do have to rouse, though.
Okay. I will do a brush check.
Yep.
So as she goes in, she will go to place her hand on both of their shoulders, if they're sitting near one another. Like both of you are up, I guess. I
Yes,
can get in and
working out our
Okay.
stories together. Yeah.
Oh,
Right.
good.
2 rouse checks, 1 for each.
Oh, okay. All right. Just do the what? Oh,
Roll 20 wants to cooperate today.
let's see. Survey set.
Good game.
That's a Hunger Game.
Fucking go. All right.
All right.
All right. Well,
You hear your beast? This is so beneath you, darling.
just shakes it off and she's like, oh, I will be repaid. It is worth it in this moment.
Just gonna go around. Dahlia, you wanna be next?
Sure.
Because Dowser's death.
Yes, yes, exactly. And Dahlia knows this on some level, but she's still working out the whole story with him, like, you know, and like hand gestures in full Italian mode, like just, you know.
Dowser's just sitting there nodding along.
Yes, exactly. This is what and because Dowser's nodding along, she's convinced that he's good, you know, like, so yeah, it's gonna all be okay.
Well, same thing. He lets the room. He uncuffs you.
Now, because of the wingman thing, she's feeling extra charismatic today, right?
Hey, if you were to look yourself in the mirror, I guess. Well, yeah, he
Little
does.
hair
He
flip and everything, yeah.
does look at you in a way that you're not used to.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I don't know if she's used to being looked at any particular way, but yeah, okay, we'll take it as a good thing. And
Before we go, do you want to be truthful or as lie? Persuasion or subterfuge?
I'm gonna frame it this way. I think she would like to be truthful, but she's totally gonna fucking lie.
All right. Composure, subterfuge, and you get a plus. Oh, let me calculate. 4 extra because you have a certain thing with police. You don't get the full bonus.
Okay. I can make that work. But could I make the argument that this might be because Dahlia is intentionally and by design crafting her story in an artful and eloquent way without using presence, but just through decades and decades of impeccable lying. She could perhaps maybe roll manipulation instead of subterfuge or composure. Like, this is, she understands the situation, requires a little bit of embellishment, and and she's good at that.
Definitely.
Awesome. All right. So she has 3 in manipulation and 3 in subterfuge and 4 from Ella's wingman charismatic goddess powers. Yes?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So I am going to go ahead and click on the thing here. This is going to be such a good story.
Seven.
Well, that's 7 successes.
He asked you the same thing. Can you tell me what happened from your perspective?
I would love to. Yeah. So we were all, as people do, sleeping in our homes, you know, sleeping peacefully, soundly, having good dreams of a brighter tomorrow and the future of Dusktown. And what is it? How's the phrase go these days? Joy to the world, goodwill to men. Yes, all of that. Good dreams, only good dreams. And then we woke to our house on fire. And so I think that's where you need to always begin is with a house on fire. And so we were understandably traumatized by that event. And my colleagues and I think, have taken it very well. There will most likely be reparations. I think that's the word. Maybe repercussions too, that need to be paid. Insurance policies perhaps need to go into effect. And what I want to say is, as far as, you're probably going to ask me who I think did it. Yes? Is that? Yes, that's where you were going with it. See? I know how this goes. And so I'm happy to oblige and offer you a couple names. And she's going to offer him the names of the officers that tried to arrest her at the end.
Oh yeah, the guy. What did I call him?
Yes. She's totally throwing him under the bus. Okay. And so,
Officer Robinson. I
yes,
can't remember.
Robinson. That's the name. You know what? I couldn't remember it. That's the one.
Do you think Officer Robinson started the fire?
Grievance, anger management issues. Like, we are talking someone who is clearly unfit for the job. Unhinged, in need of counseling and therapy, someone who needs to be investigated.
Is he affiliated with the Chainsmoker and the Religious Zealots?
I think he is.
I'm gonna look
I think
into
he
that.
just might be. Yeah, I think that might be the case, because they were there too. They were involved. And I you know what? I've lived a long time. I know I don't look at his face, but I've lived a long time, and what I will say is that I don't believe in coincidences. Yeah. So this was definitely a whole operation. Honestly, I would worry about the extent of the rot inside the department. So I think internal affairs really needs to do a job here.
Do you think, well, this was not cool in any way to something that has a paper trail, I assure you, and Kaya has her own way of getting information out of people. Do you think he was after you since you're a wanted? He puts a wanted poster of Delilah Grayson on the table.
I think the charges are all trumped up, honestly.
Obviously.
Yeah. And frankly, it's offensive. I have done nothing since I've gotten here but for the good of Dusktown. I think you will find that I have been a law-abiding, erstwhile citizen of this town, this city, and I have cared for it with every ounce of my being, from the first day to tonight. And I want to see no harm come to it or any of its citizens. I want it to be here forever, and frankly, I just, we need to, there's corruption. That's what it is. That's the only real proper term for it. There's corruption in the ranks here. And these charges are all just baseless and unfounded and frankly insulting.
Do you have anything to add before I release you?
I would like to say that I would not be here today if it wasn't for my two companions.
I don't know if that's good to hear. I have one last recommendation. Since you are wanted, I would suggest avoiding my offices in the future.
I have a different suggestion, if you're willing to take it. Or if there's a box, I could put it in there. But what I would like to say is that these charges need to go away. I think that perhaps either you could hand me the file and I could get rid of it in some discreet fashion, or you could yourself look into these charges and see that they're erased and dealt with properly.
I understand the confusion. It is all digital, and it's not a file. It's not on paper. I
understand exactly what you're saying. In fact, I've done a lot of research lately on digital.
It is,
and
it is in the federal database, so above my pay grade. So unless we figure out a way to kill you, you will remain wanted for murder. There's nothing I can do about that, miss.
I understand. I know how these digital things work.
I can help set up a thing where we shoot you because you resist.
Yeah.
But that's about the only thing you can do.
I think you know what? Give me your number and we will be in touch. And I will call you, and we will work out something. Yeah. Because let me tell you, this digital stuff, it needs to be taken seriously. I'm finding a lot about it. Every single day I'm here, I'm finding more and more about this digital thing. I just learned about the Amazon the other day, and I'm just saying that I spotted the cameras. Yeah, so a bit of an expert here.
Well, thank you for your time. He gives you a card.
Welcome. You've been so polite. Yeah,
gives you a card. If
I'm going to recommend you for promotion. You're just so wonderful. Yeah,
I think
you're doing a great job here.
Step up here is mayor. To be honest,
I think that you would be. I think you're fit for that position. Yeah, I would like to see you there personally.
Well, I'm glad for your vote.
I will vote for you. Yes.
Yeah.
That's how things are done around here, right? Yeah. Okay. So, anyways, yes, I will head back and send my erstwhile moistened colleague in to see you.
Same thing. Darcy brought in. Obviously, you're still deaf, so he's just kind of. You don't hear a thing. He looks at you in wonderment. And you kind of see the very... He's trying to mouth as clearly as he can. Are you okay?
I can't hear you. And, there's blood, dripping down his ears from getting stabbed.
He gives you paper and a pen. And he writes down... Can you just write your statement then? Of what you think happened. And anything we can use to arrest these people. And I'm just gonna ask you as a storyteller, what do you write?
The house was burning, people were singing. Period. He's not very charismatic.
Right now you're glowing.
That doesn't help his writing. What else to write? He doesn't know that this man knows he's a vampire. I don't think he'll write anything else. Just the people were singing "The House Was on Fire." His ears got hurt somehow. And he'll just leave it at that and let the officer deal with the rest himself.
Because of the situation you're in, I'm not even going to ask you to roll because it's very hard to lie on paper or any do a persuasion thing. He's just going to ignore it, and he got a lot from Ella and Dahlia. Is that he writes, "I'm going to take your bag and release you now."
He'll just leave. Okay.
Go back to the room. You're all still very glowy, sparkly. Gods on earth let out through the back. There's a black full limousine, but a limousine car. It's a 7-seater, it's not the full thing. With a driver waiting. The chief himself opens the door for you. Have a good night, everyone.
So, are there any cameras or anything in the back here, or is it just...
Yes.
Okay, so we're on camera. Okay, got it. So what Dahlia is going to do...
You look up and see them?
Oh, you're talking about building cameras. I'm talking about paparazzi.
No. Just
okay. No. Okay.
You're very discreetly let out of the building.
Yeah. Well, Dahlia is still going to pull down a tasteful little fishnet veil type of thing, and just over the little hat that she has. And
don't worry, Miss Grayson, we have technical difficulties at the moment.
Yes, you're gonna model walk into the limousine. Yeah.
Get aside. Drago rolls down the screen and says, "Where to?"
Would you like to go to the museum?
That sounds wonderful. I've always wanted to go to the museum. You always have the best suggestions, Ella.
We can't do too many.
The driver says, "I think it's closed at this time of night."
Oh, they know us there.
It's the architecture that I'm interested in. When they light it up at night, it just has a different ambiance, and there's fewer individuals mucking about, which gives it a more peaceful setting that I can appreciate this time of year.
Right away, ma'am. Starts driving. Takes 15 minutes. You drive into the very wooded area, up some hills and cliffs, and eventually you hit the bridge with a river flowing, or stream really, flowing beneath it. You see the Drakenfeld castle on top of the rock. A few lights from some rooms. It's not brightly lit, but enough so cameras can kind of see what's going on. You're let out. And he says, "Do you want me to wait here, or should I just leave you to it?"
How's the cell reception up here? The phone service?
Fine, Matt. He pulls out the phone. "Do you want me to call someone?"
No, just I was thinking that if you could return in like maybe an hour, that would give us enough time to putz around and or call you back if we don't need a call or a ride. Would that work for you?
I'll go get a coffee, ma'am. Did I bring you anything?
A chamomile tea.
Yes, ma'am. He drives away. You're left in front of the... Well, there are two stairs kind of going up to the main door. When you saw Margaret and the Baron, you were going through downwards into a side entrance under the stairs. What do you want to do?
So, Drakenfeld Castle is the museum.
To the public, it is.
Okay.
Breakfast.
Somehow I was not aware of that, but now I am.
Me either.
Dahlia's going to look to Ella and go, "So exhibits."
Lots of them. Have you all been up here yet?
I think we all have the first night, right? Like, what didn't Margaret drag us up here?
Yeah.
Down, but yes.
Oh, yes.
You're
Yes.
never in the actual museum.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Beyond that, no. I have to say, in all of my time being here, I don't recall being in here.
Well, is there anyone here that you would want to check in with?
Oh, everybody's here? Is everybody here?
Oh, you three. For reasons, Henry and Julian are not here.
You know what? Is Margaret here?
Probably.
Okay. Because we need to have a conversation about... I think everybody in the coterie has noticed that we've been followed the entire time. Yeah. I think it's not out of the realm of possibilities that at least some of that attention has come from Margaret.
Well, now that you say it, there's a rat watching you at the moment.
This is what I'm talking about. And Dahlia is going to point to the rat and go, "Get me your master." Or take me to them. Yeah.
It's scared and runs off.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And Dahlia's going to step after it.
Oh, Dowsy of animalism. It probably doesn't understand human.
Dahlia's still going after it.
Dahlia, are you squaring up with a rat?
You know what? We need answers. This rat can get us answers. All right? I'm just following leads here. And this is our lead. 4 legs, very tiny. That's all we got.
Follow the rat down to the large doors that leads into, well, the crypt or the Baron's Haven. The doors open for you as you approach them. You
Excellent.
see a very large, looks like a man, but with a white exoskeleton and like bones protruding from the joints. Very tall, very thin, has kind of a looks like a skull face. The nose is completely flattened. There's no hair anywhere. It's kind of insectoid-ish to look at, and it just pulls open the doors, steps aside.
Yeah, get out of the way. Get. Just gonna walk through.
The weird vault tech here.
You enter, see the Baron sitting on his throne at the very end of the room, and out of nowhere, almost startling you for a moment, Margaret appears. Good evening.
Ah! Okay, Margie, we need to talk. Right, you and me. Not in the presence of whatever that is over there or him over there. Okay, just you and us, like one-on-one, mano y mano, girl on girl here.
I speak for the Baron, and these are his servants.
That's fine. You can speak for the Baron all day long, but we just need to have a conversation.
We do?
Yes, we do. Come with me. Come on. We need to have a come on. And she's going to like loop her arm in with Margaret and like walk her out. Like, come on, Margaret.
What's up? Just to deflect it a little bit, very gently, but no, that's not how this works.
You know, I'm sorry. Like, the fact that it's going to get very awkward very fast here, because Margaret is going to deflect in her very polite, patient way, and Dahlia is going to like, no, wait, stop. It's going to like try to hook her arm in. So this is going to get so I'm going to go for a strength brawl grapple here to like hook her arm in and get her dragged out because she's not getting the polite deferring signal here. She just thinks that Margaret's really awkward. So yeah, I'm gonna roll this. So hopefully I have your approval, and we're just gonna do this. There we go. That's a 9 critical hit. Dahlia's really good with hooking her arm in. Yeah. That's right. She's not taking no for an answer. She never does.
What? I'm gonna roll against the 9 with a crit with Margaret, but 4 arms, 2 hold on to you, and 2 of the guardians. Just taking
me.
You feel your joints slowly starting to come apart as they pull from each direction.
Ow! Stop! This is rude! Stop!
Margaret says,
okay.
Let go.
I was just trying to hook my arm in with yours and lead you out. Obviously, you've never had this done. You've probably never been in a relationship or never even walked down the promenade with anyone. Get your arms off me. Get your hands off me now. And she's just like making a scene.
The Baron even has stood up from his seat. All 9 feet of him.
Yeah.
And his wings are up, but then he sits down again when you let go. We're supposed to have a court session later this evening, but I'm currently waiting for Alejandro and Kaya, so...
Do we have to do this here in front of you, or can I just take her out and we can have a nice conversation about her spying on us?
I'm the speaker. Of course I'm spying on you. With good reason, it seems. You've broken tenants. You've killed mortals on the street.
Not intentionally.
Doesn't matter. You will be judged later by Kaya, myself, and the Baron. But we should really do that with all of you here. To figure out the proper... I don't want to say punishment, because I don't want to punish you. Because you're doing a job for me.
We're doing a job for everybody.
And that's a good thing. Because everyone seems to like you.
Well, we're very likable people.
Even Alejandro. After he was assaulted. On his own domain. Breaking the 5th tradition.
I don't know anything about that. I wasn't there.
You were not, fortunately. You did kill a man on your doorstep.
In self-defense.
And
Last time I checked, that's a whole thing here in America.
He had his back turned to you, was walking away, and you assaulted him. Thankfully, no one saw it. Except for me, Kaya, and Nishida.
So what you're saying is that we did that entirely the way it should have been done.
Cleaned up your mess.
Yes, that's correct. We did.
I don't care as much as Kaya about innocent lives, to be honest.
So let us recap, right? Shall we? Okay. Since you almost hurt my arms, all right? I'm not going to forget that. Okay. Your servant's very manhandling. All right. It's not cool. All right. So what I'm trying to say is, first of all, we cleaned up our messes, or at least I did. All right. Respect the skills. Number 2, you've been spying on us since the first moment we got out of here. Without our permission, even though you say it's your job and all that stuff, I get it, but you didn't ask nicely or anything like that. You didn't let us know. You just had your little rat following us around everywhere. Are you responsible for the machine, the flying machines too?
No, that would be Nishida.
So what? One of you can't do it? Like, it's got to be a group effort here, spying on us?
People have their own agenda and we trade information. I have a deal with her, but I assume if she's watching you, it means she's interested.
While we're on the subject, who else is having critters, machines, people following us constantly?
I assume everyone.
That would explain the parade. Okay, all right. So we have...
You are the talk of the
entourage.
town. People are trying to figure out who you are, what you want, and...
You could just ask, okay? Like, I mean, I could tell you who I am and who Ella is here, and... I mean, Dowser's got his issues, but he's been making inroads with the manatee people, okay, underneath the water. So yeah, we've kind of a big deal here.
You did a favor for me with Melinda. I'm not gonna speak out against you. I'm not gonna try to punish you severely. It is Kaya who has the problem. The rest of them, mainly Dowser and Henry and Ella, broke the 5th tradition. That is an issue, but I'm sure Alejandro, he's very nice, so he doesn't want you punished, but we'll figure that out together. We have to have a show, right? There's always a show without kind. You're doing a favor for me, you have done favors for me. I'm gonna be in your corner, okay?
Okay.
I don't care that you killed a fucking mortal on the street. No one saw
I'm
it.
going to hold you to that.
I will shake hands. She stretches out a scaly...
Oh, now you want to
thing.
shake my hand. I wanted to loop my arm with you about 5 minutes ago. You didn't want anything. You had your servants manhandle me here, okay? And now you want to shake my hand. No, she's going to take her hand away. No, you've lost that privilege. Okay, fine. You're in my corner. I'm going to wait and see if that's true because I feel like I've been lied to and manhandled. So, and honestly, the police department around here is very nice, and we probably owe that to Kaya at some point. But that wasn't our fault. So, and I cleaned up my mess, and you can understand you've already admitted that I didn't break any traditions. So I just want that known. And she's going to look towards the Baron. You know, I
You think you see eyes with, like,
yeah.
just a hint.
She's just gonna like give it a glance for a second, then turn back to Margaret. Yeah. This is like, okay, you know what? So, okay, fine.
I'm in your corner. Don't worry. He looks at Ella, or she looks at Ella and Dowser.
And I can
Fine.
represent these two. All right, they're good people.
We'll have a chat. Kaya will blow things out of proportion, as she usually does. Alejandro will be stoned out of his mind and say everything's fine, and you will just get a slap on the wrist. But we still have
They'll get a slap on the wrist.
We still have to do it.
My wrist is still hurting from the manhandling I just got. So,
what can I do for you right now?
I'm so glad you asked. First of all, do you know what the Amazon is?
It's a jungle and an online shop. They're not the same thing. I'm not the kind of Nosferatu who's good with technology. I leave that to Nishida.
Okay, well then I'll talk to her. Other than that, I think I'm okay. I can't think of anything right now. I was a little bit upset.
Understandably. You had a terrible morning and a terrible evening.
It's been terrible. The last 24 hours. She's not going to mention it all, like the blood that she got or anything like that. She's not going to mention that at all. She's like, yeah, it's all been kind of terrible. And I'm really questioning, who's on our side right now. But you say that you are, Margaret. So I'm gonna hold you to that. I'm going to remember.
No reason not to like you. You did me a favor without asking anything in return. And speaking of favors, Ella, you went to see Cassandra and had a moment to look at Agent Hemway.
Mm-hmm, correct.
Anything you can share?
She's just going to ponder. Cassandra, let me think. Yeah, that was the one with the club and the scene and she's mesmerizing. And seems like a well-kept establishment. And it seems like she has some interesting connections and or conundrums of her own. Seems like a lot of people in this town are invested in their own endeavors and or are in need of help.
Most people don't have the luxury of a coterie. Anything about the agent? Fortunately, I can't sneak in there because of Cassandra's, deal with Kaya. I'm sure you noticed disciplines are ineffective in there.
Alia's going to turn around. Wait a minute. Cassandra's working with the agent?
No, I assume she's not, but he's just been hanging out at her club a lot.
Oh.
Yes, she's perturbed. She would rather he not be there.
I think we all would. He's trouble.
It's like when people say what's worse, the devil you know or the devil you don't know. In one hand, we know where he's at and what he's doing, but on the other hand, we'd rather he not be here at all. However, him going missing could potentially bring on a series of issues and or other agents that we don't know and could be more problematic. So it seems to be
I'd prefer if you leave it on his own volition and report back that there's nothing here except mundane things like a serial killer or cults. Nothing to do with vampire.
We're working on that.
I know, which is why I'm on your side. You're helping all of us.
Thank you for recognizing that, Margaret.
I'm practical. And the Baron and I are grateful. You could have said no. And I've been selfish.
Dahlia, what? Go ahead.
So many hands make light work, so.
That's right. That's right. My mom used to say that.
About your haven.
About our haven.
I assume you don't have money since you woke up, 5 days ago?
There's an internal dialogue here going on with Dahlia. I was like, actually, I come from money, but she's not going to say that. She's going to be like, yes, we're very poor. Yeah, we're still recovering our financial sources.
She looks at Dowser. I'm going to send you another servant that can deal with mundane things. And I'm sure Dowser's just blank-faced because he can't hear anything. What's wrong with him?
He had a medical operation following the horrifying, traumatizing experience of the carolers.
Why doesn't he heal himself?
Listen, Margaret. Okay, I think that he's old enough to know when he needs to heal himself. All right. It's obviously he hasn't done so for his own reasons. I don't think that you need to force that on him. That would be rude. So just know that when he's nodding his head and Dahlia turns around and like it nods. Yeah. He understands.
She writes down on a piece of paper. Hands to you, Dowser. Since Dahlia killed the other one, I'm gonna send you a new guy.
Ah, nice. Can we see the museum?
You want a tour?
We don't really know much of what's here.
Sure, you can have a tour. Come with me. She walks up.
He'll just assume that she's showing him the way and follow.
Talia's going to look back at the bear and go, we're going to talk about your servants. And then she's going to turn right around without even waiting for a reply.
The doors are closed behind you. You walk upstairs. She pushes a wooden wall, which opens into another stair. Go up the stair, and she pushes another secret wall open, and you step into a section of the museum. Seems to be mostly Native American artifacts or collections. A few paintings, some scriptures, things you would expect in a museum. Something that has been collected probably for 150 years, maybe. There's some early things about first settlers, that kind of thing. She leads you to a smaller section, which is Viking inspired. There's a very pristine sword. There's some rusty tools, things that looks like they have been buried for at least 1,000 years. Been dug up by archaeologists. There's some history about, I say history because Vikings didn't write down shit, but speculations about their arrival and what they did here. Some myths from Native American tribes of meeting them. The term Vinland goes around a lot, or New Norway, specifically here in Maine. And then into the Greek session. Statues. There is a centerpiece. Is a about 1 foot tall white marble statue with a blindfolded lady holding a sword and a scale. And there are coins, Margaret says this is all donated because the Greeks were not here, but Hector has been very kind to put this on display for the people of Greek descent in the town. They obviously arrived later in the 19th century. A bit of culture for them.
Like a lot of us, yeah.
It's not a huge museum, and a lot of it is text, speculation, myths, stories. There is the New England history is obviously a lot of things about Salem and fugitives from there. I say fugitives, but people who escaped the fire. The origins of the town, established by Lord Drakenfeld from Hungary.
Indeed.
He built a wall to keep out the natives.
Very Hungarian.
And a building inspired by European castles. Well, I say European, that's a broad term, but that's as close as it gets. It's a weird town because usually American cities don't have a fucking wall built around them or castles. It was established as a fishing and trading village because of the lake. And the Margaret explains the natives want the settlers not to settle here because of the monsters in the lake. I think is the best way to describe it. But they didn't listen, obviously. There's mountains and gold and beaver fur and whatever they want.
Talia is going to lean right up next to Dowser. And, even though she's fully aware that he's completely deaf, she's going to whisper into his ears, "They're talking about your manatee people." And she's going to give him a pat on the back.
Dowser's just going to feel the ice cold breath of Dahlia on his neck and just take a step to the side. And also, while we're walking around, I'd like to activate Sense the Unseen to see if there's any fun stuff.
Yes, lots of fun stuff. The sword, obviously, you're almost blinded by it. The statue as well. There's a dream catcher. It has a... Have you been down and seen the gates?
Which gates? Kaya's?
No, the gates in your basement.
No, I haven't gone down there yet.
Never mind. It has a certain type of energy that you have not really experienced before.
I assume that Dahlia might be familiar with that energy.
Do you also want to sense the unseen?
Yes, why not?
It's definitely you. That was one of the things you're not really sure about what it was. The abyssal one was obvious to you, but the three other gates were something else. There's almost a mist to it, and you both think you hear giggling, of all things.
Describe the giggling.
Like a child or a leprechaun.
Horrifying.
The Ronosha statue is obviously beaming with abyssal energy, and the sword is very, very weird and different. You recognize the runes, Dowser, and I think most people have seen the Nordic runes. I can't remember what the alphabet is called. Engraved, and the blade is weirdly pristine for something that should be at least 1,000 years old. Other than that, most of the things in her are just mundane.
There's no weird book?
Not here. No Necronomnon.
Fair enough.
Now that you look at the sword, can you give me a premonition?
Sure.
Why not, right?
You're right. Why not? Premonition. There we go. 5.
5.
I'll take that.
That's not bad. That's a pretty good premonition.
That's a lot of 6s.
That's a lot of 6s.
Satan spawns. Just hello. No. First of all, you see the raven again. You see from the perspective of whoever is holding the sword, punching through one of the fish people. You see. Oh, you Tremere, you know your shit. Whites, you think? Very feral-looking vampires. Kind of in the dark, but they seem like kindred to you. You have not met a lot of whites, but they have definitely lost all traces of who they were. You see a massive door and a waterfall, and then you come to your senses. The rest of you see the white in his eyes. Like he's about to faint for a moment.
I would like to do the where the veil thins power. Just to kind of see if this statue has any kind of interesting effects on it. So, yeah.
Do the rouse?
Going to do that. 1 rouse check coming right up. That's a rouse success because this is effortless for her.
Don't need to roll.
Okay.
This is very well. You roll a 3, more than fine.
Yeah.
I was just thinking half your dice is enough for this. You also get 2 extra resolve for your thing. So.
Yeah, except this is intelligence, so resolve doesn't come into it. So.
Never mind then. I thought all oblivion was resolved.
The ceremonies I think are, but like the powers not necessarily.
Well, it's thin. About calculating. What's the thing? 6 yards diameter around it.
Ooh.
In a bubble. Obviously, you can't see through the floor, but
yeah,
it's kind of a half sphere around it. Like completely almost not there. And the rest of it is incredibly thick, like the rest of Dusktown. But in that little sphere.
Yeah. This is prime summoning ground right here.
You can almost hear the tempest now that you're paying attention to it.
Very interesting. Okay.
Margaret is looking at you all very curiously as you're doing your investigations.
Very interesting artifact right here. Has this exhibit always been here? Has this been a mainstay of the museum, or is this a new addition?
Around 50 years. Archaeologists started as we were expanding and building more houses and around town. They kind of found things, and a lot of Greek families, in this case, donated whatever their families brought over.
So this is Greek.
Yes. I believe it's the goddess of vengeance. And for those who act with hubris against the gods or something like that. I'm not really... My Greek lore is not the best.
Of course. And you said, storyteller, you said that the goddess of vengeance here is striking down a manatee person?
No, that was he had a vision with the sword.
Oh, okay.
Dallas is gonna look over at Margaret and just ask, would it be possible to borrow the sword for research?
Can I just walk off with your exhibit?
Can you hear me now? She writes down on a piece of paper. Maybe after you dealt with the FBI agent, we can have a conversation about that.
Dahlia grabs the paper and looks at it. Okay.
Okay. Dallas just gets lost in thought.
Margaret, is this also, what's the word for it? It looks like it's got a lot of cultural history to it, this whole place, which is fascinating, by the way. First Peoples and all that, like Viking landing, all that stuff is really good. The Greek element is a little bit strange, but not, it's tasteful. It's fine. So it seems to me to be like, what would they call it? This is like an arts museum, sort of, combined with kind of a cultural history museum. Is there any kind of natural history here? Say like dinosaur bones and shit?
Not really.
No.
I don't think so.
I was just wondering if you had any unusual skeletons or anything like that on display here. Something that
we do have, but not for the public, because they would break the Masquerade.
Could we see them? I would like to see them. I don't know about my two companions here, but I would love to see some skeletons of some really interesting creatures. A bestiary, if you will. We used to have those back home.
I do have one. She takes you down again. Into another room, and on I don't want to say display, but it's kind of kept up by metal beams and wires, like you would have a dinosaur skeleton, but it looks to be a 9 feet tall. That's like a very broad, almost frog-like skull with a lot of teeth, long claws. Very long arms. Obviously, you can't see the fins and everything because it's a skeleton, but it matches up with what Dowser has seen in the lake.
And Dahlia's going to reach out and grab Dowser by the arm with her ice cold hand, and she's just be like, oh.
You know of these?
They are in the lake, yes.
It's a manatee person.
That was just trying to piece together sentences here and just thinking. They're asking questions. I don't know what to answer.
From what Dominic is saying, it's more rock people, I think. But they don't ever come out. Sometimes people disappear when they're out fishing, but that's about it.
Dowser's our expert on them. He can't hear us say that right now, but trust me when I say he's got knowledge. I mean, I think he has had first encounters with these folks, and we are currently trying to work with him to set up a liaison, if you will, with the with the undersea culture here in Dusktown. It's been a discovery that we've made really on the very first night that we were here. That we discovered. Dowser, I can't take the credit from him. He discovered that there's an entire civilization in the bay. Yeah. I don't know if you were aware of that, Margaret. Maybe you need a sea lion or something to go down there.
I was aware that there was something down there, and Dominic says it's whatever is causing the. I'm sure you experienced the headache a while ago.
Yeah, they're doing some shit down there. Yeah, it's no good. They're up to some eldritch nonsense. Yeah.
Well, I'll leave that to the Tremors, and she looks at Dawson.
We were going to do the same. Yeah, he seems to be the local authority on the subject. And like I said, establishing maybe a manatee embassy for them, on the shore here, in the harbor, and opening up diplomatic relations. Yeah.
Prefer if they were kept down there. They're not exactly kindred, but it's not good for the Masquerade either.
Yeah. But it would take some of the attention off of us, I think. If a band of frog people who were somewhat hairy came up and started shit on the harbor.
Yeah, but it would also cause a lot of issues, because, no supernatural should ever be exposed. And unfortunately, we are not lupines who can just, quit out on that whole thing.
Margaret, and Dolly is going to put her hands on her ice cold hands on Margaret's shoulders, and look her in the eyes and say, "You have to trust me on this. I know about these things, and what I am going to say to you is that, first of all, I know that you're not much into the whole international relations, interspecies relationships type of thing, okay? But sometimes we have to cross beyond our own borders and deal with entities that are not like ourselves. And in that, I can say that you have in your employ, or at least adjacent to your employ, 2 experts here, perhaps even a third, because I know that Ella is very good with all sorts of people. And so you need to understand that you have exactly the people who need to work with these folks on your side. And I think that there's a lot of potential here for our 2 species. And putting aside to the fact that they're cryptids, I think is the term that they use, that we are not. So it's not gonna bounce back on us. It's just gonna be more of it's gonna be a their thing, not an us thing.
That Bigfoot situation. Yes, okay.
Yes, exactly. Entirely different audience. Entirely different people. It doesn't have anything to do with us at all. These two subscribers don't cross at all. So yeah, it's you have those people over there, manatee people who do the manatee fan art and everything like that, and then you have vampire fan artists over here, and so yeah, 2 circles, Venn diagram, they don't cross. That's.
I am not against it, but I advise caution.
Of course, we must always be cautious. Now, I am all about caution.
If you don't mind, I will escort you out. I have to prepare for your court session.
Margaret, let's mend bridges, okay? And she's gonna put her arm out.
She puts her scaly hand on your neck and just kind of gently strokes your hair. You can feel the nails.
No, down here. Hook it through my arm. I'm gonna teach you. Nobody has.
What is the purpose of this?
It's decorum, Margaret. Okay, it's manners. All right. Obviously, you didn't have the upbringing for it. Put your arm through here. It's your first lesson. Come on.
4 centuries old.
Come on. Put your arm through. Come on.
She forces out a sigh, and she does as you ask.
That's right. And together, they're gonna walk down the hallway.
She's very stiff.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You're let outside again.
Okay.
There is a guard, obviously. As soon as she walks around, there are people. He just kind of quickly does a 180 and walks the other way. I'll see you later tonight.
Until then, it was a nice little walk.
Thank you for having us on short notice.
Just a small bow, and then vanishes from sight. There's a rat sitting there waving. This little pause. Runs away again. And I think that's when we go to break.
Okay.
Because, I need more tea. I hate doing my Norse voice.
It's good Norse voice, though.
You need more mead.